Welcome to another video by freechartvideos.com, where we just keep cranking them out. We use time-honored techniques to understand modern markets. We don't use voodoo, we don't use crystal balls, we don't use Elliott wave, we do not use stochastics, MACD, maybe look at RSI every now and then, and some moving averages, but for the most part, we look at things that we can examine with our eyes, not indicators that are largely blind to trading patterns. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to be any form of investment advice. You need to make your own mind up with what you need to do with your money. I'm not a licensed professional. I just draw lines on charts. We are looking at TNA. This is a fairly long-range chart that shows kind of the big picture. Here's the March '09 lows. We got into this channel that worked for about a year and a half or so, roughly. Then we had the flash crash that in TNA actually tested this channel, but then it did break down, and I drew a line over as many tops as I could, and that looked like a descending bull wedge over a number of months. Breakout, pullback, forming what isn't really an inverse head and shoulders because the right shoulder is a little bit lower, but still I think that's because TNA is a leveraged ETF and it has a little decay, so this whole pattern here is rotated just a little bit clockwise due to the decay. But what's happened, we still had a neckline that corresponds to the neckline in the S&P, and since we broke over that neckline, actually since we came up off that low, this has been in an ascending channel. This line right here, I will change its color to green. That should represent, if it is reached, resistance. So let's zoom in now to an hourly chart, and we're going to take a little bit closer look at this channel and what's been going on lately. You can see that each time the prices would move up to a level, they would break through resistance, and then that resistance was pretty reliably turned into support. Now once we got here, there was a larger move, and instead of these little stair steps, this one kind of took a hop up to another level. That required a longer period of consolidation of almost 3 weeks, well, right at 3 weeks, before prices could move up. You could see we actually traded underneath this channel for bottom channel line, kind of ran very ragged down there, but traded underneath it. Then we jumped up right into the middle of the channel. Now, if you examine channels and consolidations, a lot of times you'll find that that middle just has this funny little, I don't know what's a good way to put it. The middle just forms congestion. It's almost like something will go halfway, and then the bulls and bears kind of tug it out for a little bit. You know, it's play a little tug of war, and then finally one side wins, and then it goes up to the top or it goes back down for another test. You can see here in the middle, almost won. Back to the middle, bulls won. Come down to the middle, bulls pull it back up. Bears win that. Up to the middle, bears win it. Up to the middle, bears, bears, bears. Now the bulls take control, and they've pulled this thing up back to the middle channel. I know that seems kind of silly. Wasn't exactly a very good play-by-play announcer there, but anyway, let's look now really close at this pattern and see if we can get a sense of direction from it. Okay, looking at a 5-minute chart. You may recall, if you want to go back to some of my earlier videos on TNA, I think since I've been posting these things and since I've had the website, which hadn't been that long, But when TNA was down around 50, when it was in that big consolidation area in the low 50s, I think pretty consistently I was saying that I had a target for TNA in the low 60s. And that was based upon that kind of that inverse sort of head and shoulders pattern. But what we've got right now is if we draw a line over these peaks, and we do something like that, this is kind of what it looks like it's developing to me. It looks like we are consolidating. Well, check that. It looks like we are congesting here in the middle of this channel. I say check it because a consolidation implies there will be an upside breakout. It is possible that that this comes back down for some more work to test this line. But I would say that only because we have this large gap here. Now, I'm not a gap theory person. I don't think gaps have to be filled. If that's the case, then I think the NASDAQ still has some business to do in the mid 50s from when the NASDAQ was first started. And there's a gap down there from whenever. When was it started? 70s? There's a gap down there that never filled. So around 56 or 57, if my memory serves me correctly. But what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at clear line of resistance up here, that if that breaks, then I'm thinking we go up and we make a go for this upper line. If it breaks to the downside, then we may come back and retest this. You know, I'm kind of predisposed right now that that this breaks up, and I don't know why. I just have a gut feeling. I guess the fact that we've spent so much time working down here around the low part of this channel, that it only seems that that we've built an adequate base for this to now move up and now hit a target that's a little higher than that 62, perhaps as high as 64 or 65. Again, you know, I've got a target in the S&P of 1240 to 1250 that is a fairly near-term target. And depending upon which way this goes, that 1240, 1250 may hit this week, or it could be a few weeks off. Of course, these are just predictions based upon past behavior. There's no guarantee that something tragic, you know, doesn't happen in the world stage tonight and everything opens tomorrow at negative 30. Who knows? But I'm saying, with everything being pretty much equal, if this breaks to the upside, then I think it's going to get up to the mid 60s. Take the S&P to 1240, 1250 with it, and so anyway, this is TNA, and please, when you get a chance, please visit freechartvideos.com. Just a real quick word, I want to keep this free. The only way I can do that is to build up traffic. In order to build up traffic, I need you to share this site with your friends and trading partners, whoever they might be. If you think this is good information, then please pass the word along. I want to keep it free. And because like I said one time, I don't think expensivechartvideos.com, I don't like the ring of that. So anyway, have a great evening. Let's see what happens tomorrow.